Imagine a high school reunion where one person, who'd fallen off the social radar for a while, suddenly walks in wearing a tux and a weirdly confident grin. Heads turn. That's Super Microcomputer, SMCI. On Wednesday, after recent pain from a disappointing quarter, the stock strutted back into the room, up roughly 9.3% to $52.39, while some of its bigger, more staid neighbors didn't fare as well. In a market that was broadly positive, SMCI didn't just follow the band, it tried to lead it. The scoreboard, the facts you want up front. Quick scoreboard: Wednesday close SMCI jumped roughly 9.3%, closing near $52.39 on the day, an outsized rally in an already friendly market. HP Incorporation, HPQ, by contrast, slid 1.95% to $26.70, showing that not every tech name rode the wave. The S&P 500 rose 0.34% to 6,711.20, and the Dow Jones inched up 0.09% to 46,441.10, a broadly constructive market backdrop. Even after Wednesday's jump, SMCI still sits about 21.15% below its 52-week high of $66.44, set on February 19, so the rally is spicy, but the stock has a ways to go before reclaiming last winter's highs. Those numbers are the anchors, now let's tell the story that connects them. Why a 9 to 10% move matters, even when the stock hasn't fully recovered. When a high-volatility name like SMCI jumps 9 to 10% on a single day, it's not just math, it's a sentiment signal. Consider 3 ways to read the move: short-term technical bounce. Traders who shorted earlier panic cover, creating a self-reinforcing pop. That's often why you see big one-day moves that don't always stick. Rotation play. Investors sometimes rotate into beaten-down winners when broader indices are green, profit-taking elsewhere funds contrarian buys. SMCI looked cheap to some traders, so it got attention. Narrative revival. For longer-term holders, the rally can be the start of a narrative rebuild, from missed quarter, messy guidance, to valuation is attractive, and long-term server demand still exists. If that narrative takes, the price follows. It's like a band whose album flopped last season but whose frontman tweeted something funny, suddenly ticket sales spike. Will the new album chart? Maybe. But the buzz alone gets people talking. The context, why the market backdrop helped but didn't fully explain this. This was not an isolated SMCI-only market. On Wednesday the major indices were higher. The S&P and the Dow both nudged upward as investors shrugged off some macro noise. That helps riskier names pop. When the water level rises, small boats float. But SMCI didn't just float, it surfed. While HP fell almost 2% that same day, SMCI outperformed, showing that stock-specific flows, not just index strength, drove the move. Market strength is the tide. A company-specific jump is when someone finds a surfboard and rides the wave, not just bobbing in the water. By the way, if you are benefiting from the content so far and want more like this, like the video, it means much to me, or hit the subscribe button and comment the word more. Just go ahead and type the word more so I know. Now that you have commented, let's continue. The backstory, the Q2/quarter miss and the sell-off that followed. We can't understand the rally without remembering the tumble. Earlier in the year Supermicro reported an earnings/revenue miss that spooked investors, margins compressed, guidance was trimmed, and the stock experienced a steep sell-off as markets were quick to punish any hint of operational strain. News reports from that period show the company missed estimates and guidance was pulled back, which explains why SMCI had to work so hard to claw back to mid-$50s. In plain terms, Wednesday's bounce is partly a reaction to the earlier dip. We survived the ugly quarter rally. Imagine a bobsled team taking a freaky spill mid-run, the earnings miss. They crawl back to the top of the hill, pump their adrenaline, and try again. The first rebound doesn't mean they're winning the race yet, but it's progress. So is this a turnaround, or a sugar high? Short answer, maybe-ish. Mid-answer, it depends on the drivers behind the pop. If the move is mostly short covering and technical rotation, it can fade. That's the sugar high scenario, uptick now, fade later. If the move is driven by fresh, stock-specific fundamentals, e.g., customers signing, margin improvement, supply issues easing, then it's more durable. That's the comeback story. At the moment, most public reporting frames Wednesday's gain as a mix, technical relief plus investors willing to bet on a future rebound despite a rough quarter. The company still faces margin pressure, customer concentration questions, and competitive heat, so skepticism is warranted. The weird sibling in the room, HP fell while SMCI rose. Why did HP slide while SMCI popped? Different business models, different investor narratives. HP's consumer PC/printer mix makes it sensitive to cycle and margin pressures in ways separate from enterprise server dynamics. In plain speak, HP is fighting its own battles. SMCI's rally was driven by risk-on traders and sector-specific flows. The divergence is a reminder, tech is many different animals under one zoo roof. Technically oriented traders likely noticed SMCI's breakout above key short-term moving averages on the bounce. A climb that breaks through a resistance level often triggers algorithmic buys and stop-loss covers, amplifying intraday moves. MarketBeat and other intraday trackers flag that SMCI traded as high as $52.48 and volume was elevated, classic signs that both retail and quant flows were involved. Charts are like traffic lights on a cold morning. Green lights attract cars. Once enough cars move the intersection, everyone else follows. The valuation, why the stock still has to climb a steep hill. Even with the pop, SMCI remains materially below a 52-week high set on February 19 at $66.44, roughly 21% higher than Wednesday's close. That's not just vanity. It tells you the market once assigned a much loftier multiple and that the company needs to show consistent improvement to justify a re-rating. Remember, the earlier quarter miss was about both revenue and margins are what make everything else less nerve-wracking for investors. But with improving fundamentals, Smci could hit $1,250 in the coming decades. Note this as well. When his disciples heard it, they were exceedingly amazed, saying, "Who then can be saved?" But Jesus beheld them, and said unto them, With men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all, and followed thee, what shall we have therefore? And Jesus said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me, in the regeneration when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And every one that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life. But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Matthew 19:25-30. Fear God, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven, and earth, and the sea, and the fountains of waters. Revelation 14 verse 7. I appeal to you to fear God and obey his law. For his commandments are sure and his word everlasting. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. Want more information? Please check the description section. That's the end for now. If you have watched until the end, drop a comment like this, I stayed until the end. Just comment that I stayed until the end. When I see this comment, I will give you a heart. 3 more favors I request from you. First, like this video, subscribe and then turn on the notifications bell. If you do this, you greatly encourage me to continue bringing to you insightful information. Do not miss out on our future videos full of insight. All I am asking is your subscription. Thanks for joining us today. Your support means so much to us. Do not hesitate to share this video to help someone who may benefit. I recommend that you watch the next video, subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts about today's video. Wish you God's blessings and care. Wait, watch and pray. See you in the next video according to God's will.